Hello, it's me again, of course. I got interrupted this time. This time YouTube did not cut me off. But, that's just the way it goes. I figured you really didn't want to hear a bunch of conversation between my dad and my sister, and I don't think they really want to be hearing me talk about spirituality and drugs. No, that sounds bad, doesn't it? Even though I'm not really much of a fan of it. Alright, let's get into the spiritual side of this, alright? And I'm in less of a serious mood. I got food. Yummy. Ah. Mm, mm, mm. Nachos, they're addictive. Um, anyway, that was disgusting. Okay. Moving on. I'll try not to eat while I'm doing this. But let's get into the spiritual side of it. I will not lie. PCP, acid, that sort of thing, it does open up your mind. And marijuana to an extent does. They open up your mind to your subconscious. However, in my personal opinion, this is my opinion, you may not like it. A lot of people, when I start bringing this stuff up, they really don't like what I'm saying. They really don't. I had one girl that get mad at me. We were in a psychology class, and she was doing a presentation on this one guy. What's his name? He was a psychologist, but basically was saying that, like, he was giving acid to his students, and they were, like, getting their minds open up, and he was, like, preaching, how these things affect you and whatnot. It's all cool and stuff, but here's the thing. To me, spiritually, doing drugs, excuse me, that was disgusting again, so was that, doing drugs like acid, they're like a shortcut. And as many of you would know, as many of you remember, the road taken, the journey itself, is the point to life, not the destination. So, in a way, you taking this shortcut of, let's take a trip and open up my mind, super. You opened up your mind. Now what? Good job. Also, from what I've found, from my observations, the people who do take acid and open up their mind, or PCP or whatever, and they open up their mind, cool. Many of you might want to be interested in this for the abilities. They're cool, they're great. Your mind gets opened up, yes, and some abilities do come to you like that. But others will avoid you, will not be able to come to you as fully as with someone else who has worked with the discipline, who has practiced for many years, working on trying to get their mind opened up and to do things with it. When you do drugs like that, you cause your mind to become more open. Your sensories and things, they start to activate, they start to come alive as part of you. Yes, they do, but you lose many important ones as well. Many things that are important to you. And to find these and to fill these things in, many times people will continue to do drugs more and more. And as you do that, more things will become lost. Until eventually you are nothing because of it. You may disagree with me on this. Many people get pissed at me because I say this. That's my personal opinion. It's just what I've seen. Whether or not it's right, that's your decision. That's the way you're going to look at it. And chances are, if you're getting pissed at me about this, it's because you do it. You're doing this sort of stuff, and this is the way that you got into it. Got you into spirituality. It's great that you're into it, and I'm not saying don't do it, but I'm saying it's not necessarily a good idea. If you want to do this sort of thing, if you want to do spirituality things, do it proudly. Do whatever you want. If you want to do drugs, do it, but understand that you may be limited because of it. That's my personal opinion. Whether or not it's right, that's you to decide. And that's for you to observe and research. I mean, yes, people of the past did it. Many of them also didn't do drugs to get themselves to where they were spiritually. And those tend, as far as I know, tend to be the greater of them. The greater ones that actually get further in their development. You know? Once again, it's the journey, not the destination. That's the most important thing. You know? I mean, maybe you might think that I do those sort of things. I do some drugs. Sometimes I act a little bit crazy. I mean, I got a crazy video on here. You know, it's just kind of my mind coming out. You know, some acting like that, like throughout the entire video doing even weirder crap. But the thing is, I don't. You know, granted, I mean, I live life. I say I live life as full as I can. I don't need drugs for doing it. And yes, I'm guilty of drinking. Kind of ashamed of it. Used to do it quite a bit. And honestly, stimulants, I mean, like, things, even coffee, which I do have on occasion, you know, even those sort of things, your mind can do amazing things. It doesn't need help. Really, it doesn't. And drugs are supposed to be that help, you know, coffee, even coffee, caffeine, that's supposed to be a little bit of help. And I'm guilty of drinking coffee on occasion, and I've actually decided that I would stop. So that's just the way it goes, you know. But I'm starving, forgive me. And these nachos look so delicious over here. Anyway. But your mind should be able to handle itself. You should be able to push through things and figure things out. That's part of the journey as well. And using our things to supplement your mind, to basically make your mind work in a certain way. Why not mentally make yourself work in a certain way? Why not mentally figure out how to rewire yourself? And that's a lot of training. That's a lot of practice. That's a lot of time that you can go into it. But when you do get that sort of discipline, so many more things open up to you. I mean, spiritually and on just a social level, you know? Like, let's say I feel really, really tired. You know, I can make my mind open up to certain things to where I have to remember what those hormones are. Where basically it releases certain hormones into your system that makes you no longer tired. A little bit of adrenaline, I guess, is what they call it. Now, granted, don't take adrenaline or steroids or anything like that. That's not good. That's not good for you either. But doing things naturally in your own body and naturally making your body work and having that understanding is a great thing to be able to do. And whether you realize it or not, exactly what you're doing, you know, people who have taken discipline, they know how to do this. Where people who take drugs really don't. And some things that they become more limited. You know, where what I call potential. Spiritual potential is what I call it, okay? Spiritual potential to me, and this is what I've seen, I mean, it may not be right, but what I've seen is spiritual potential when you do drugs, that sort of thing, it gets lowered. You have less spiritual potential. It's just the way it is. So, anyway, I'll leave you on that note, and hopefully you guys aren't too mad at me, because really, when I start saying this sort of stuff, I've had people get mad as they can, really. And it's annoying, but it's the way it is. And really, they're closing themselves off. You know, they aren't being as open as they'd want to be. And just things out the window. It's really bugging me. It's like leaves coming down. It's like, why are there leaves coming down? Anyway, peace out, guys, alright? I'm being really, really weird right now, so see.